Hello there, how are you? This is Karthik Poovanam, and I'm a leadership coach, author, and a travel explorer. Is it important that we take serious attention to the advices that come to us? Is it important that we pay total attention to the people who give us advices? Not necessary. What's important is to pay attention to the advices that matter. Like for example, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you exactly the behavior pattern identification that you need to really focus on before consuming any advice. Now, if someone is preaching you about freedom, observe their own life. How much freedom do they actually have? If someone is telling you about being joyful, put some light through the sunroof. Observe their life. How much of freedom and how much of joy do they actually have? Be aware of them, because until and unless you are aware of this reality, you will constantly be confusing yourself in a very significant way. And this is not only damaging to you, but also to the people whom you're interacting with, because you're consuming a wrong idea. And because you're consuming a wrong idea, you'll also be motivated to follow what's being said, and you will follow, and most likely you will fail, because through the consumption of an advice there is also a consumption of sound energy. This in the ancient sciences were called as Vak Shuddhi. Now there is a very classical story, everybody knows this. I'm not going to talk to you about the classical story. I'm going to tell you about the reality which has happened to me in my life. I do not want to tell you stories which nobody has seen or just heard. I'm going to be telling you about the reality. Well, in my own life, I have seen very effectively those things work for people which I have personally applied in my life, and shared it with people. The same tools and techniques work in a very profound way. Needless to say about the significance of grace in the words, but very, very important for an individual person to understand and identify that until and unless you're putting things into practice, or you're consuming material or advices from those who are putting things into practice, most likely you're not going to implement that in their life or in your own life, because you will be absorbing a sound energy which is dishonest. A dishonest sound energy has an incredible capacity to diffuse your ability to create the desired results. How this works specifically, nobody knows. But does this work? 100% yes. Now you see, there's also a deep subconscious reason, because your subconscious mind also tends to reject the advice. Let's say a beggar on the road wants to come and give you an advice about how to make 1 million. Would you consume that advice, or would you take that advice? Would you take an advice from a person who's earned millions, or would you take an advice from a person who's struggling on the roads begging? Whose advice would you consume? Well, you are smart enough to directly know that you would only want to consume an idea, an advice of how to have 1 million in your bank account from a person who's already done it. But when it comes to joy, when it comes to freedom, when it comes to well-being, you're consuming it from people who are not experiencing it. Now pay close attention to this deception, because this is how this deception works. Ladies and gentlemen, pay close attention to what I'm saying you, because here's where the catch is. Let's say a person has earned millions of rupees in his account. Now that person is talking to you about joy. This advice is not going to work, because if that person is not joyful, I've personally seen people who have millions in their account. If that person is not joyful, even today, when ladies are earning millions of rupees. So if she is not joyful, when you consume that advice about being joyful from a person who has never ever experienced 24/7 joy, and he is advising you about 24/7 joy, it's not going to work out. Now somewhere you have been hypnotized by success, and you begin to take every advice that comes from the mouth of a person who has experienced success in their life materially. Material success is not a guarantee. I repeat, material success is not a guarantee for internally joyful state. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pay close attention to what you consume, because what you consume is the reality. If you're not going to consume in a real way, you will be missing out on life in a big time. Be very, very aware of the people from whom you're consuming information. If you're not aware of the people from whom you're consuming your information, in many ways you're doing a deep sabotage to yourself. You're doing a deep sabotage to the way in which you're consuming. And as I told you, sound energies do work. I will explain to you more about sound energies. I will also explain to you in detail about the influence of sound in our life. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not take things lightly. It's important to connect. It's important to know life. It's important to understand the significance of consumption of an advice. Have a great day. I will keep sharing more thoughts with you as and when I feel like sharing. For now, have a wonderful time, everybody. This is Karthik Poovanam. I'm a leadership coach, author, and a travel explorer, and I will see you in another amazing video. Good day.